2003, David Lee Roth was doing his usual martial arts thing on stage. But when it came time for his encore, complete with 15th century samurai moves, David gashed his forehead with his big wooden
being so pumped up for the show, and then this guy would come out with his sword and do this whole act. I don't want to see this guy do a sword act.
The gash sent Diamond Dave to the hospital for 21 stitches, but not before finishing the show. Dave's no wussy.
So he slashed himself in the face and was bleeding and then finished the song. Well, that's metal. The show must go on.
Saw him live doing that routine, and I think he didn't pay the attention of Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off.
The 1980s were a perfect storm of metal, and at the epicenter was LA's Sunset Strip. This scene went largely unchronicled by metal anthropologists until 1988.
Do you like heavy metal music?
Yeah.
When director Penelope Spheris gave us the film, The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2.
We are not role models for your life.
I'm an anthropologist, I like to think, and I like to document these movements, just mostly for historic purposes.
It seems surreal that there would be a music scene like that, but that's really what it was. And it was like that movie, but
you can live like this.
So I asked Gene Simmons where he would like to be filmed for the movie, and he said, I want this to be really classy. And I said, okay, Gene, you call it. Where do you want me to shoot you? He said, trashy lingerie?
Sex and rock and roll the American way.
Every girl that came in there, he asked them if they would go to bed with him. I mean, it wasn't like, would you go out and have dinner? Would you sleep with me?
I remember being a whore and trying to pick up at least 2 of the girls.
The metal movie was really an eye-opener because it wasn't just about the fun part of metal. It was about some of the more dark experiences of some of the musicians. And the one part that nobody can ever forget is Chris Holmes of Wasp in the swimming pool with his mom sitting on the side of the pool, and he's just drinking vodka the whole time.
I'm a full-blown alcoholic.
I remember looking at that and saying, man, I don't want that to be me.
Get out of here.
a lot of us that were in that movie might look back at it like, well, okay, I do, as a skeleton in the closet, like, oh my God, look what I used to look like then.
If you want to come here dressed really nice, that's okay, but you'll get in the club faster if you dress sleazy.
We looked goofy, and it was a decadent time, but you know what? At the risk of sounding like a relic, those were great times back then. If you weren't around, you'll never understand.
Rock and roll forever!
That's a cut.
Coming up, who wants to have sex with L7? No,